Hey guys, Jonathan here, JT Numbers. Um, Welcome to my room. Just sitting here tonight, just thinking about the weekend and what it was and what I wanted to say to you guys. And this is gonna be a culmination video of the whole weekend, so bear with me if it takes forever. But I'm gonna start with the day by day, and then I'm gonna go with the people and who impacted me. Everybody impacted me. All everybody I met was wonderful, but it would take hours to talk about every single one of you. So I'm gonna limit it down. So me and Zach Lambro arrived on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, and I'm gonna say I thought 7 hours down to Myrtle was gonna be kind of bad, but because I didn't know. I'm not a long trip person, as Charlie DeMakis would tell you. It's kind of the first time down was kind of, um, but we really enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about his, as much as he probably didn't want to talk about it, his wrestling past and his back, and then his family and Mobile and Young Life and life in general. And it was really one of those drives that were like thoroughly enjoyable, that you wish you could have every single car ride like that, long trip. So that was awesome. And Zach's just as I'll get to later, he's an amazing person, and it was easy. Then I got there and I played with Wake, Dan, DDXU, my roommate. I'll get into that later too, and Wade. And it was a rough beginning because I hadn't played True Blue since December in the Invitational, and I sat in the car for 7 hours. So the first 4 holes were rough, but I figured it out. I hit like 10 wedges on the range. That was it. But it was a great round of golf with 3 great people that I played a little bit with Wade at the Invitational, and I talked to him. I met him, but I didn't really played with him and sat down and talked to him. So it was like meeting 3 new people, and it was very enjoyable. I played a lot better after the first 4 holes, and Dan, DDXU, played the round of his life basically. It was incredible, and he scared me a little bit because I thought he was beating me for a little bit. Wade is a wonderful player. He gets down on himself a lot, but he's got it all together. He plays this one consistent shot, the high fade, and it works. Stick with what you got. That's what I'd say. So as long as he keeps his confidence level there, he's a good player. He's a good guy. And then Austin, I heard you weren't feeling well after, was it the Mexican food night? Oh, not the point. You play way too fast. You and Josh should have like a 2-hour round if you could try. I'd love to see that. But you're a good dude. I love talking to you. I love talking about your police work, and it was enjoyable. 18 holes of golf, and then I got back to the room, and we went to the parties. I started meeting people, and that night got me excited for the rest of the weekend. I was ready to go. I was ready to start this experience. And I loved meeting everybody I talked to. The food was amazing. Tim and Gordon and who else to cook that night? Well, that barbecue was wonderful, and it brought what the weekend was going to be like. It excited me. So then I went to bed with Dan. Dan's an awesome roommate. We roomed together for a bit, and we had so much fun together. I mean, it was easy to talk to him. He's a nice guy. Doesn't annoy me. Snores a little bit, a lot, but I love talking to him about anything really. It's just great. And then Thursday came. And Thursday morning, I played at Caledonia, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot different. We played the team practice round, and so we went 6 holes. Me and Freddie stayed together the entire time. It was me and him, and then we started off with Zach and Eric, and then we go to Jake and Amal, and then we go to, well, we went to Brad and Derek, but then the end it got scattered. And it was, Caledonia is a different golf course, and it's a beautiful golf course, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't fit my eye. And it's one of those courses that's like, I don't want to say it's bad because it's unfair, because it's very, very fair. It's just not one of those courses where I look at it and I'm just like, I'm going to score well. It's one of those courses where I'm just like, par, move on, par, move on. If you make a birdie, that's amazing, but just get your pars and do your best. And True Blue is a course where I feel like I can attack, like really, like just hit it right at the pin and just go for it and really just get your birdies. And even though True Blue is apparently has a harder rating and slope than Caledonia, so but our team round was awesome. I'll get into my team later. But I just wanted to touch on Caledonia as a course. And then the afternoon round, I played with Freddie, Jake, and Wade. And I already talked about Wade a little bit. Another amazing round with him with that high fade. I mean, he's an awesome guy, funny. And I'll get to Freddie and Jake later. And then media day came, and honestly, I'm gonna say I was really terrified, like really terrified for media day, because JB had stressed a lot about, and Josh, I'm not picking on you, but he stressed a lot on knowing your stuff and knowing what you were gonna say. And really, I mean, I did a lot of research on our golf clubs, but I didn't know what I was gonna say. I thought I was gonna screw up, and I went and I basically just hit the range, and I kind of wanted to go last just to see what everybody else was doing. So I hit the range, hung out with everybody, hit Chad's OptiForce, which I want that OptiForce. That's a good golf club. Enjoyed some closest to the pin contest with Derek P. Hill. And Cookie. Cookie was a part of that. That little 60-yard post that we all aimed at. That was a lot of fun. And then I went over to do my interview, and our tour rep, I'm sorry if you're watching this, I can't remember your name right now, was the most awesome guy ever. He was so easy to talk to, and he was so like, just say what you feel, say what you'd like. Obviously, don't say anything bad, but if you like the golf club, talk about it. Talk about how you like it, and I was just made it so much easier. All the pressure away immediately. And so I got up there and I was like, hey man, can I talk about the RTX wedges? Or well, you'll see this, but the RTX wedges, the golf ball, and the irons. It's like, yeah, if you love them, talk about them. So easily made the pressure go away. I just talked, and it turned out great, although I did bobble on, I think, the golf ball. That's because I lost my words. But it was awesome. I loved hanging out with our tour rep. He was great guy. All the tour reps were great when I talked to them. And then I went to lunch, and Brad Ingolfer had just finished eating, and he was sitting all alone at a table, so I had nobody to eat with, so I figured I'd go sit with him. And And I knew he was my opponent coming up, so I figured I'd get to know him a little bit. Sorry, Brad. And he's one of those people that you meet and you just like you smile because of how friendly he is and how likable, how personable. It was a really, really great lunch and great talking to him, and I knew our round the next day was going to be amazing, just simply by talking to him. And Froggy had been my roommate, and me and Froggy had been talking the night before. And I'll talk about Jeremiah in a bit, but Brad is an amazing person. So then we finished our lunch, and I went back to the room, and me and Dan sat around watching the Canadian Open and just talking about. I called my dad about my car. That's kind of because I got in an argument, but not the point. I'm getting sidetracked. So then we just sat around for the rest of the day. Then we went to eat, and then the next morning was obviously the start of the event. And I think as Jake told you during the Paradise, when he was talking about Paradise, I always viewed this. When it comes to tournaments, it's always a tournament mindset for me. So when I applied for the Morgan Cup, like I didn't really, like I knew what it was about, but I didn't really know what it was about because I just seen like the competition side of it, and I had seen what it meant to everybody, but I didn't understand the camaraderie that came with it. And I guess it's kind of also me just not knowing a lot about golf and being still new to it, the sport. Every tournament I've been in is just competition. Keep your head in it, competition. So that's how I attacked it for a bit until I got there, obviously, and then I started to ease up. So the first, one, getting hit in the nuts was an icebreaker in itself. Thanks, Jeremiah. I appreciate that. But the opening tee shot was nervous, obviously. Although Josh said I'd top it. And I know you're playing mind games with me, Josh. I know you are. I didn't top it, as everybody saw. But I mean, we went into it. Me and Freddie, we knew that we had to play our best because Brad and Jeremiah were no pushover, and we played, except for the first hole when I didn't mark the ball. Sorry, Freddie. We did fine. I hit my ball in the water on 3, but outside of that, we played fine. And Jeremiah and Brad never laid down. They fought back. I think they got it back to 1 down at one point after we were 3 up for a long time. And it was one of those competition rounds where, I mean, we were in a competition, but it was easier because Brad was playing amazing, fairway green just the whole time. And I think I remember he stuck one on 13 to like a foot. Like this should have gone in. It was a kicking birdie. That's when they got it back to 1 up. But Brad was playing amazing. I was happy to see him playing amazing. Jeremiah was playing great. And it was an enjoyable round. And I mean, I'm not gonna get in every single hole and what happened in the summary, but the moment that stood out to me was definitely 17, finishing the match. And everybody saw the winning putt that I made, but it was one of those moments that I won't forget because as I keep going with golf and stuff, it's one of those moments that it's just like I had to make that. Like there was no next time, now. And Freddie had been there for me all day. I hadn't really been putting well. Well, that was the story of my weekend. I wasn't putting well. But I'd really struggled on the greens, on the practice rounds. That day, I made a couple really good putts. But I really hadn't made one outside of 10 feet since about 8, when I made a 20-footer to save par to have the hole. Or was it birdie? I can't remember. But it was one of those moments where it was like, finally I did it. And that's me in a nutshell. It's just I show my expression when things happen, and good sometimes, but it can be bad sometimes. And I think I need to learn how to bottle it up. And but it was just all that frustration let out at that moment. Just like finally, I did it. But so that was great. And then literally, me and Freddie had 45 minutes, an hour to eat and jet over to Caledonia. And the second round, the alternate shot, was very interesting because it's Caledonia, which is the Tiger golf course, with alternate shot, which made it interesting in itself. And Tim's awesome. I'd never really met him or talked to him. I mean, we talked a little bit before, but he's an awesome guy. He's really easy to get along with. He's a super player. And then Nate, my man, big time. I'll get into you later. We have to talk, but it was a very well fought match. I think we were going. It was 2 up because we made pars to stay all square on 3 because we'd won the first hole, won the second hole, have the third, and we were on 4. And this is the infamous, oh, JT walks in the putt on 4, and I know Nate probably didn't know this, but it's again going back to the competition side of it. My mindset. I love you, Nate. Don't get me wrong. You're my man, but it was one of those number 4 when I had the putt to go 3 up through 4. It was one of those things where it's just like I'm setting the tone for the match. It's gonna go in, and it's gonna be amazing. And I vomited all over myself, and it actually was going in. And at the last second, like literally maybe 3 inches out, it dove left straight. And I swear, I don't even know how it did it. But there's Nate in my face saying, oh, I can't believe you walked in the putt on us. And Freddie's following along. And Tim's kind of standing over there, like, laughing. And Keegan's up with the camera and yelling at me. But, like, this is the kind of person I am. I don't take things very well. I don't take sarcasm very well. Which kind of sucks. I want to, but, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And yeah, it did affect me for a while. I thought you were legitimately mad at me that I walked in that putt. I didn't know you were trying to rib me or any of that. So it did affect me for a little bit, as Freddie said. I think I let Freddie know that I was for the next couple holes, and I got it back together. And they got it back to all square. They actually went 1 up. They went all square onto 8 because we made a bogey on 8 because Freddie went for it and didn't quite hit the shot he had hoped. And then we went back and 1 up on 9. And then I think we played the worst hole possible, like the worst hole the entire weekend. We played on 10. And Freddie's right. I did lose mentally, lost it there because I was just kind of like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I just played that bad. And I don't think I really got it back till 12 when we went 1 down. And I was like, nah, we're not losing this match. Like, we're winning this for paradise. We're going to do this. And I don't know. I found another gear on 13. That short par 3 or par 4 that goes around the corner. Just angry. I was just, this isn't happening. And, I mean, I know Tim and Nate did not play the best golf coming in. I wish they did, because it would have been a stellar match if they did. But they fought the whole match. And while me and Freddie didn't play our best, they definitely capitalized on it. And they did amazing, really, to come back and fight back like that. And then, so we won that match. And that night was really fun. Really fun. And then Sunday, singles. I played a lot of tournaments, and I've been nervous. But that Sunday singles match, when I was the first one off, setting the tone for my team, I don't know. Because as everybody there saw, I hit a horrible tee shot. I was just so scared that I didn't check my alignment, that I didn't do the proper things that I do in my pre-shot routine. And I lined up dead at the houses on the right side. And I hit it dead at the houses on the right side. I ended up losing the first hole to Bullfrog, Jeremiah. And Freddie, I'd turn around, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Freddie's like, you know you lined up over there. And I was like, yeah. I figured as soon as I hit it, I was just like, my whole chest was pointing at the houses, and I knew it. So I lost the first hole. And then I started to get more comfortable. I started to get a little more into the match. And Jeremiah did not lay down. Jeremiah played some solid golf the whole way around. It did not make it easy on me. Not at all. Definitely scared for a bit. Definitely scared that I wasn't going to get that point for my team. That's something I don't want to feel again. I don't want to feel like you're not going to get that point for your team. That's not a good feeling. And I'm lucky that I got the point because I didn't deserve it. As I said in the interview, I didn't play anywhere close to where I thought I should have. And I really feel like if Jeremiah had really put the pedal to the metal, he would have beat me, and he should have beat me. Because when he went Dormy on 14. When I went Dormy on 14, I played the worst golf that next hole. I played terrible. And yeah, I almost dunked that. You saw that I almost dunked the wedge from about 80 yards, but the layup, thanks Jordan, was not a layup. I hit a 4-iron that got stuck in a root. That basically almost topped it. And then I 3-putted from 6 feet. Yeah, because Jeremiah had plugged into the stairs in that bunker, the one you saw. And we were trying to get a ruling from Wardy or calling everybody and their mother. And I'm like, I'm going to go hit my putt and see what Jeremiah has to do in order to win this hole. And probably his mental lapse, probably going too fast. I 3-putted from 6 feet. I said, Jeremiah, pick it up. We're going to the next hole. And I don't know. And then 16, I hit a so-so tee shot. And the only reason, in the coverage, a lot of people saw that's a dead spot. That's hard pan basically over there. There was no chance getting up and down. And the only reason I got up and down was because I was basically on the upslope. So really all I had to do was bury my club in the sand, and it popped up. And so I got very lucky. And the motion I showed on that green was one of just kind of like, I should not have won this match. I really shouldn't have. And I felt bad almost. Because against a lot of people I would have lost. And I fluked my way into that one. I really felt Jeremiah should have had that point because he played better than I did, for sure. And so then we went around and I was trying to get scores from everybody. We followed Thainer and Tim back to 17. Then we watched all the matches come in, and it was really tense. It was not easy. I had to correct Trisha. Or not Trisha. It was Morgan, I think. Because she put down the wrong scores on some matches. But that was tense. That was amazingly tense. And then following Freddie for a bit. And I let him go. And then I followed the captain match. And And I was talking to everybody. I was like talking to Maul, talking to Derek, I was talking to Brad. I was like, where do we stand? I didn't know. I really didn't know. And when Derek turned to me and said, I think it was either if Dean doesn't make this or Chunky doesn't make this, then we win. And when neither of them made it, and Derek said that's it, I was just like, we did it. Like that was awesome. And I've won a tournament before individually, and I know it's like, but nothing like that. Nothing that I get to share with 7 other people. Some of them worked far harder than I did to get to where they were, and I applaud them for that. But to experience that with 7 of your brothers, I consider them brothers now. I don't have words. I really don't. That whole champagne celebration was awesome. Everybody saw that. And then Jake said a couple words to me when we were hugging that really stuck to me. Just awesome. Really awesome. And then that Sunday night was... Sorry. It was kind of one of those... It was one of those nights where I was like... It all made sense to me. Like the competition aspect, that was all amazing. Dean, when you walked up 18, incredible. And that put what I thought was the bow on the Morgan Cup. What it really was. Everybody coming together, having amazing sportsmanship, and rooting for your opponent. Which I've always brought up when I played soccer and I raced go-karts, that your opponent's like the enemy. You're supposed to hate them. But how can you hate 31 people that you love, that you get to experience this with? And that's what I found out. That's kind of where it changed from a competition to me. Because when I first got picked, I thought purely of competition, wanting to win. And that changed basically from the first day I arrived. So then that night, I figured out it wasn't the bow. That night was really what it was about, what the Morgan Cup was about. We had a lot of us that stayed, went to Jake's room. We had fun. We talked. We played games. I arm wrestled Eric's wife and Jeff's wife. And I can't believe I did that. But we had so much fun. And I'm in college, so I know what fun is like. But I don't always get to have fun with my friends and people that I love. All in the same room. And, yeah, that's what it was like. And it was just, I'll never forget that night. Ever. That'll be one that stays with me. So that was the weekend. Took almost a half an hour to explain. So now we're going to get into some people. I want to talk about Team Paradise for a bit. And in no particular order. I'm going to try and talk fast because I know I'm wasting a lot of your time. But let's get Eric. Eric, you're an amazing dude. You're one of the first people that I talked to from Team Paradise when I first arrived in Myrtle Beach. And you and Trisha are awesome. You guys are hilarious. And I hope to come up to Minnesota sometime to visit you guys. I mean, you're an awesome guy. You're easy to talk to. You were always there for me during that weekend, and you guys are just awesome. I really can't say anything else. Zach, car rides are the best. Dairy Queen, oh yeah, sketchy Dairy Queen. you're just you're a great leader. You're a great speaker. You know what to say, and like you were a natural at media day. You really were. You stood in front of that camera, you owned it. And I think about my days in the youth groups, and I think about you leading those youth groups. And I think you were the absolute perfect person to lead those kids through whatever they're doing in life, through their issues. I know we touched on that a little bit, but you're the perfect guy. And you never once complained about your back during the day. You're like, oh, well, I would have shot 10 strokes less if my back wasn't terrible. No, you never said that. You went with it, you plugged away, and you played amazing for the amount of pain I'm sure you were in. And yeah, I have no words. I definitely wouldn't have done or acted the way you did with that kind of adversity. So I applaud you, sir. Amal, my doctor friend, person I went to for doctoral advice. It was awesome to see your family was there. It's really cool that they stand behind you with all that stuff, and you turn it into a vacation, which I think is really cool. And I enjoy talking to you about the medical field. It's because that's something that interests me a lot, and I'm happy that you gave me such good advice with going into that kind of career, and what I should think about, what should I know before I decide. And I'm gonna lean on you a lot, dude. I really appreciate it, all of the advice, and to get onto the golf side of it. You played out of your mind on Sunday. That was amazing to hear about and amazing to watch. You played some inspired golf, and that was couldn't have asked for anything else. And Brad, you're solid, good dude. You're so easy to talk to. Even though your DC doesn't stand for the DC that I thought, because you don't live in DC. We had a good laugh about that one, but it was really nice to meet you finally, you and your wife, and you and Derek. I'll get to you, Derek, in a bit, but you worked so hard in your game. And when you chronicled your struggles a bit for us on Facebook, and I just saw where you came from and where you went, and like it's truly inspiring to see what you did in such a short span of time, and it was really awesome to follow that. My dad's coming up the stairs. And then Derek, my main text message guy. We texted all the time back and forth. You were really one of my rocks during the process, during the months that I'd like. Sometimes I struggled with school, and you were always there. I always texted you about issues, and you were really open and loved talking to me about that kind of stuff, and you were awesome during this whole process. And then also chime in with kind of the same token as Brad, the dynamic duo, as we called Brad and Derek. You did miles with your game as well in such a short time, and you should be so proud of yourself for what both of you did. And you guys turned into a huge asset for our team, and it's amazing. And then Freddie, I don't even know where to start. We met during the Tour Van stop in Atlanta, and you're the brutally honest golf guy that I always needed when I started getting better. You're brutally honest with me in my life. You're brutally honest when it came to my game. Brutally honest when I was mad at something. And I don't want to say you changed my life because that's a little much, but you definitely changed my perspective on life, if that makes any sense. You were someone I always leaned on during hard times. You were always there. You're one of my better friends on the forum. And when we played with each other, I mean, you were always there to pick me up. You always tried to get me back in there mentally. You always were like, don't ever apologize for a good shot. Don't ever apologize for a bad shot. And like, why? I just let you down. I just let the whole hold down. I ruined the hole. But you were like, don't ever apologize. And I don't know. I think you definitely changed my golfing life. You definitely changed the way I perceived golf. And you made me a better player. A lot better player. You knew my faults, you evaluated them, and you helped me change my game. Not mechanically, not swing, mentally. And yeah, I think you know what you've done for me. I don't think I have to say it in a video to show you, but I thank you a lot. And then Jake, our captain, you are the coolest dude ever. That rap music during our practice rounds was the best thing ever. You made it so loose, so easy. You made during our little Facebook conference, you made it easy to be like, what's wrong? What's everybody going through? How can I help? I have so much respect for Ryan, Ken, and Dean, and I would have loved to have played for any of them. But I'm so glad I played for you. I'm so glad that I was able to help you win something that you've coveted so much. And it was just, how do I say this? It was just one of those. You're just one of those people that it's just. Just one of those people that I always wanted to have in my life. Someone who's just chill with everything. Someone who's there for me though, and to have you as a captain, amazing, absolutely amazing. And I hope that we stay in contact. Well, we obviously will, but I hope we get to play with each other more. And I loved hanging out with you. But I mean, except when you passive aggressively grab my face a couple times, like Macho Man. That was kind of uncomfortable. But I love you, man. You're awesome. So that's my team. I love my team. Other people that are really amazing. Let's talk the volunteers. Wardy, I'll see you next week. Keegan, Jordan, Trisha, Dean's wife. You guys are just amazing with how you laid down your time, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to devote this weekend to the event, and I'm just going to start filming guys from the internet playing golf. Like, that was totally awesome, and I think you guys deserve way more credit than we do as players, because we just played golf. We just played golf, and you guys are awesome. And Keegan, I loved talking to you about college golf and working hours that I don't like, or you don't like, and you felt my pain a little bit. and I love talking to you. And Wardy, we became friends pretty fast, and you're an awesome dude, short dude, but nice dude to talk to and get to know. And Jordan, I admire you, dude, for getting on the forum and be like, I want to volunteer for this event. You're a great guy. And that when we had that mini range session afterwards, me, Keegan, and you, I think Dan showed up, Tim showed up, I think. I'm not sure. But that memory eludes me. But it was just so much fun. Everybody had so much fun. And you're such a cool guy. You're just awesome. And I really appreciated all of you. Trisha, you were really fun during when we were hanging out those nights, picking rap music to listen to in Jake's dorm, and not dorm, Jake's villa. Why did I say dorm? I'm in a college mindset. It was a lot of fun, and so I thank all of you for volunteering. And then other captains, Dean, we hadn't really known each other before this, and we became fast friends as well. I mean, you're such a cool guy, and I respect you so much after this event, especially the last day on 18, and what this meant to you. And I didn't really know much of the backstory behind you and Jen, and what you had sacrificed, or both of you, well, Jen really, had sacrificed. Dude, I applaud you, and yeah, you're incredible. Ryan, we've known each other since we played with each other in Atlanta, and I've followed your progress, losing weight, and your golf game, and I know you get hard on yourself sometimes, but I mean, you're so easy to talk to. You're so invested in THP and what it's about, and I admire you for that. And then Ken, Chunky, dude, you're awesome. I know when you came to Bears Best, that Invitational, yes, for the Invitational, that was the first time I met you, and you greeted me like you knew me for years. And I was a little intimidated because, this is Chunky from THP. Like, he's a legend. He's a living legend here in Atlanta. And you came over, talked to me. We had a good conversation, and I enjoyed your company those nights in your villa. And I'll never forget that. And I'm not going to touch on any other individuals because I'm approaching the 45-minute mark right now. Just send me over an hour, and I don't want to do that. But you know who you are. Conversations with everybody. You know how much you guys mean to me. And I wanted to close on a couple thoughts. This weekend really did change my perspective of golf. I've always thought of golf as something that has to be, because of all my other sports that I played, is something that has to be intense. It's something like where you need to invest yourself. And I would invest myself probably too much. After a bad shot, I'd probably get disgruntled, mentally gone. I wouldn't let it go. And this weekend really did change. It did show me that golf isn't all about whether you hit a good shot. It's not all about making birdies. It's about playing with people you love. And I'll definitely apply that more in the future, and I'll my new goal for 2014 actually is to make golf fun, because I know it's hard, especially how far I've come in. Actually, this week it'll be 3 years. 3 years I've been playing golf this week. How far I've come and in such a short time span. And it's hard to make golf fun when you expect so much of yourself. But that's my goal, just to let go of bad shots and just make golf fun. It's a game. It's a game, and it's not in my personality to let things go or let things go easily. But I'm gonna make a solid effort, just as much as I would pounding balls on the range, just as much as I would hitting putts or wedge shots around the greens. I'm gonna make golf fun. And what Freddie said to me about letting it be easy, being fun, I'm gonna take it to heart. I really am, and that's what I'm gonna change going into 2014. And whether I'll put my name in the hat for the 2014 Morgan Cup, I don't know. Probably will. I'd love to be on the volunteering side of it. I would have had so much fun doing that. But I'll be a part of it in some capacity. And yeah, I want to thank Josh and Morgan for continuing to put this amazing event on for us, because we are just hackers. We don't deserve this, really, but they sacrifice so much to do this and put this on for us, and I thank you guys. The 4 companies, Callaway, Bridgestone, Cobra, and my company, Cleveland. Cleveland, you guys did an amazing job getting my orders, giving me the clubs that I needed to perform my best. And the majority of those clubs are going to stay in the bag. The vast majority. And you guys gave me amazing equipment to work with. So I thank you guys for that. And I don't know what else to say, except for here's to a good 2013 Morgan Cup. And as a lot of you know, that I struggle with the mental side of the game, and to work on that, to make an effort. And this is Jonathan, JT Numbers, signing off from my bedroom for a 47-minute video. See you guys in Atlanta for the Invitational.